Yo, welcome guys to my match preview for the Arsenal-Tottenham game. Wow. It was a big one. Let's start off from the starting lineup. Pretty standard. I didn't know what team was going to be called because Arsenal were keeping the injury list close to their chests. So I didn't do a match preview or anything. It is what it is. It's kind of what I expected, changes, Moreno up front, Eze just in behind. But it was a team to get the job done. Tottenham, on the other hand, like I said in my match preview, they came and they didn't want to play football today. They came and they set up and they gave us too much respect for the first 30 minutes of the game. Tried to slow it down, tried to kind of, we can hold them out. We've got the second best defense in the league. That's fine. But I encourage teams now to start playing their brand of football against Arsenal. Stop this low block business because we're finding it easier and easier to play against now. People need to look at the Sunderland game and play to your strengths. Tottenham did kind of in the second half after our second goal, but it's a little bit too late. We've already scored 2 by that point. You're coming to them. Yes, okay, if you've got to play defensive for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, cool. But then you've got to start to play your football. And I don't care. I don't mind. At the minute, if you want to play low block against us, then that's on you because I can see us breaking it down now. I can see Arsenal breaking down low blocks. But I encourage a lot of these teams that could get a point or a result against us to play your way of playing football. Don't do the low block thing because it's not working against us anymore. We figured it out now. Years of this, and now we've kind of come to it, and it's just like we're doing it so much. It was like that. So let's get into the nitty gritty. So first half, first 30 minutes, Tottenham stank out the joint. It was kind of, as I said, every man behind the ball, relax. That's it. We'll let them have the ball. And it worked for a while, but we had a lot of the ball. They had nothing, didn't have any shots on target first half. I think they had 1 shot, but not on target first half. And then the 36th minute comes, and it was this interesting bit of play, which I noticed before the goal, because we did it before the goal, is Eze and Moreno. And I think it's going to help Eze, of course, and it's going to help Moreno, because they're 2 different types of players. One is Moreno's this big, kind of strong lump that he can finish a ball in the box, and he can also header, right? But he's not the quickest, whereas Eze's a little bit quicker, a little bit more technical in terms of attacking and playing those balls in and things like that. So they were switching a little bit to keep that defense pulled around a little bit. Okay, Moreno's not getting any luck. There's not a lot going down the wings to cross in. So how about we drop Moreno in midfield, push Eze up there, and look what happened. It was pulling it around, and Moreno found a little bit of space, and he dinks it over the top to a delicious ball into Trossard, and then Trossard just finishes it. Little bit fortunate with the goal, but I think either side, he was going this side, and I have to say Van de Ven for even making that challenge was brilliant. It went in the back of the net, but to even make that challenge, I give him props for that at least, because no one's busting a gut on that side. And Trossard left Spence for, that's your man. You left him, gone, yeah? So lovely ball in, great. Not the best finish, but it goes in the back of the net. It is what it is. He did frustrate me before that. Trossard, he's really frustrating to watch sometimes because he hasn't got the pace to beat a man, but he's got these brilliant feet that he's got the ability to take it around a man, but he hasn't got the pace. So it might get round him, but it'll turn back. And in the first half, I could see there was still some cobwebs in our closet because of the international break, and we never do well after international break. We kind of don't play our best, and that was apparent today, especially in that first sort of half. There was a lot of sloppy passes. Eze, Moreno, Trossard, I go Rice, Zubi, and Timber all were kind of making these sort of, but it is what it is. We weren't going 1-0 down at that point, so it was bearable. So yeah, the goal comes, and that's pretty much it in the first half. It was Tottenham were looking to frustrate us and looking to leave a mark on us with the challenges and stuff that were going in. It weren't anything nasty, but they were leaving a mark on. And they were looking to go down that avenue. It didn't work. And then the second half comes out. And I tell you, like I said, I did not feel nervous about this game at all. Well, it's 5% of me, sorry. I did say that earlier. So I will say, I will still keep the same energy. 5% of me was nervous earlier. I was sat here during my watch along, never nervous, like, oh, Tottenham. Because it was only the media blowing this game up to like it was some even Steven matchup. It was never going to be that. We didn't even get out a third gear today again, but it was more than enough. And it wasn't because we were that good. Tottenham just didn't want to play football today. That was it. There was one team playing football today. That's it. And then the Eze scores. I mean, the Eze derby, he could have joined Tottenham, but he chose Arsenal. Obviously, he's an Arsenal fan. And we went in for him. And it was just written in the stars. He chose today to have his best game for Arsenal. I'm here for it. He goes down as a North London derby legend. Not an Arsenal legend yet or anything, but a North London derby legend, because these type of ones are written down and going, oh, okay, do you remember that game? Eze scored a hat-trick against Tottenham. What? Eze scored a hat-trick against Tottenham. Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of all of his goals are very, very similar. On the edge of the area, in some space, and just lashing at it, having a shot. A lot of this, we wanted Ødegaard to have a pop on the edge of the box. And where Ødegaard's probably a little bit more savvy in terms of, I'm gonna pop the ball over the top, I'm gonna try and find my striker. Eze's lashing. He was lashing at everything today. Even when he scored 3, he could have had 4 or 5. He was hitting them on the edge of the area a lot. They weren't the cleanest of strikes. I'm not gonna sit here and he's a world, but he put 3 in the back of the net. Brilliant. And I think that's kind of him playing in that sort of more attacking, just behind the striker. And Moreno thrives off that, I think, because then he feels like he can drop behind Eze, which was it, So the goals themselves, they weren't worldies. Like, of course, I don't care. He's got a hat-trick against Tottenham. And yeah, second half we've already talked about second half kind of, but it was kind of, we scored straight after the break, pretty much. Sorry. We scored one before the start of the second half, and then we scored just after the start of the second half. And it's pretty much the same thing. It was just they didn't wake up. We were on it, and it's the same thing again. No one's closing down on Eze on the edge of the box, and he kept finding the space. He kept finding it. But yeah, we got this. It was second half. It started well because obviously we scored, and then a silly moment kind of happened with the Richarlison goal, where I noticed Tottenham were doing it first half, where they were trying to do the whole Skelly Timber thing, where you shield the ball away from the defender, play for the foul, and then what are you going to do? Hoof it up the field. I felt like it was a massive learning curve for Zubimendi today. He could have just played the ball into Moreno, I think it was, or Rice. One of them was 5 yards away from him. Just set the man. But yet he decides to hold on to it. Richarlison and I think it was Kudus that were hounding him, get the ball back. And Richarlison, he has nothing to do all game. But I know what he has been doing, which just shows, as a striker, he knows what he's doing. He's been staring at our goalie all game, looking at him going, he's off his line. And he's still off his line. He's not going back in goal. So the moment I get that ball, I'm shooting. And that's what he did. He shot over the top. The rest is history. Kind of poor positioning from Raya, because you shouldn't be getting lobbed. But also, I think the blame does go on Zubimendi. It goes on both of them. Because if Richarlison doesn't see Ray off his line half a mile out of his box, he's not going for that shot. And also, if Zubi just sets the man in front of him, we're not in this position. It's only a goal, but it's one of those little chinks that you go, wake up. And it's a learning one, so it hasn't cost us the game, but it's one of the ones we can definitely be quicker with it. This was Tottenham today. What Real Madrid or whoever whoever when we get deeper into these competitions, you got to look at moving that ball quicker, and it will come. Not getting on about it is what it is. It's in a game where we won 4-1 against Tottenham, so it's like they're just picking at the bones of things for Arsenal, really. And that goal, yeah, Richarlison scored, but he did nothing all game. He was captain WWE. He is my new favourite wrestler. Richarlison is my new favourite wrestler because all he does is love to get involved in any type of scuffle, anything. He loves it. So if football doesn't work out for Richarlison, he should definitely try WWE. He's my favourite wrestler now. I look forward to watching him every week. And I'm not even a Tottenham fan. But yeah, it was just building up to that goal. I think things changed for Tottenham. They actually started to play their brand of football, or a bit more open. And you could tell that because it was more end to end. They were getting more opportunities, and obviously they score and it opens up the game for 10 minutes. And then we clean up. Because it was already 3-1. It was already 3-0. And then Richarlison scores. And then it was kind of like, we kind of sat on our laurels. Like, you know what Arsenal do? We go 2-0 up and we kind of just chill. Like, that's what I got the feeling was. And it was a little bit too relaxed from Zubi and stuff like that. Richarlison scores. They get their tails up. They think they're on a comeback. And then we just kind of step up that sort of, we were in second gear again and we drop it into third again. And we kind of just see out the game, kind of plodding like, okay, they're gonna start attacking for a bit, and then nothing. And then the Eze gets his hat trick, and it was just like, when he got the second, I said it on my watch along. I think he's gonna get a hat today, because he was in the same position for all 3 goals on the edge of the area, and they're not closing it down. Maybe that's down to Marino dragging the players around. I don't know, but it's the same. Eze's goals were on rinse and repeat all day. I can't remember if they were all left foot or all right foot. I think one might be left foot. I'm not sure. But anyway, they were all in the same position. So when he scored the second, I go, he's going to score a hat trick today. And I got to say, guys, he could have scored 4 or 5. He had a good couple of opportunities, mine, because it was the same position every time. They weren't closing him down on the edge of the area. And that's all she wrote, really. Eze gets the 4th, gets his hat trick, man of the match, no doubt. Becomes a North London derby legend overnight. And the funniest thing he did was when he was celebrating his 3rd goal, he went like that to take his top off, like that. And I think he was taking a mick out of Richarlison because Richarlison left a hit on him earlier on. He sort of, Eze had already been fouled, and then Richarlison just runs over and just sort of runs over it. Like, what are you doing? Play football. And he went like that. He went, nah. So it is what it is. And hats off to him. He chose today to have his best game. He's been good this season, but today he was great. He was amazing today. And all round it was pretty solid. Bar the Zubimendi sort of Raya moment that led to the goal. I don't have too many negatives to say about the team. The only negative I'm worried about, but we'll decide that after the Chelsea game next weekend. We'll pick the bones at it a little bit on Wednesday night when we do a live for the Bayern Munich game. But Arteta did take a long time to put some subs on. Our first substitute was Trossard off, Madueke on. That should have came. It was in the 78th minute. That should have came in the 60th minute. But I suppose we did score on the 76th, so it is what it is. But the game was won at 3-1. They were never, ever going to get back in that game. They were never, ever. But yeah, that was our first substitution. And Trossard goes off, Madueke comes on. Then he makes 2 substitutions in the 88th minute. And Capier comes off from Mascara, and Moreno comes off from Wanyeri. And then in the 92nd minute, Skelly comes on. We've got this tough game today, even though we didn't make it look tough. On paper, it was a tough game. We got Bayern Munich midweek. I could not care if we lose that game 4-0. It does not matter, that game. We're qualifying in top 8. It doesn't matter. My focus is on next weekend, the Chelsea game. I'd rather a full strength squad in that game. I want to win them all. But if I had to pick, and yeah, I'd win them all. But if I had to pick one of those games to kind of field a lesser side, it would be the Bayern Munich game. We're already second in the league up there. We're top 8. That's all you've got to do. So there's no incentive to go out there and field the best side up possible. If you see Arsenal get beat 5-0 midweek by Bayern Munich, I'm not really going to care. And I'm being honest. It's going to hurt, but I'm really not going to care because I know what the situation is. You don't need to field a big squad against them. My worry is picking up all these late substitutions, and we're pick at the bones of it next weekend after Chelsea, because if we win today, and obviously we get a draw, or we win or lose, whatever, against Bayern Munich, but we beat Chelsea, then we can look back on this and go, okay, let's check those subs last week. Why was he so late on those subs? He gave this full squad, his squad a run out, his starting 11 a run out, and half the bench is not really played. So I think half the bench is probably going to be on midweek. And then he's probably going to maybe field a similar side next weekend, I'm guessing. But yeah, I was a little bit concerned because I know what the headlines will be. Tonight or tomorrow or Monday morning, it'll be, oh, Calafiori picked up a knock, this, that, and the other, and he should have come off so much sooner. But these are all little nitty things. Arteta done a fantastic job today. It was just my worry on substitution. But like I said, we'll pick that up after the Chelsea game to see what the thinking was. Try and break down that thinking. But yeah, overall, I think everyone did play well. I don't think there was a bad spot in our game. It was just the Zubimendi moment and Raya moment. But everyone was good today. It wasn't our most spectacular performance in the world. Like I said, it was a third gear performance after international break. And as you can see, Man City flopped. Liverpool flopped. So it is hard to pick up that momentum again after the international break. And I think had this have been another game and it not been the North London derby, we might have stumbled a little bit. But because we had to get up for this occasion, and our players did, smoked them out the water. Literally smoked them out the water. There was not a moment in that game it was like, okay, they were never gonna touch us. Never ever. But yeah, especially there's no one to really shout out even in the Tottenham side. You know, there's not Richarlison with the goal, cool. That's one thing to shout out Richarlison. That is the furthest goal scored this season. And it was 25 yards out. So that's the longest shot this season. Longest shot goal this season. And Spence, let me know if this idiot is in his Twitter, because I'm ready to cuss this man out. Because if he starts talking today, bruv, go play tennis. You want to play a one-man sport. Because if you're chatting after a Tottenham 4-1 loss to your rivals, and let's be honest, you were marking Trossard all game. Trossard runs in to get a ball, so you left your man, and then Trossard sets up Eze for the fourth. Where are you on him? No. And he got subbed off. So this aura that he thinks he has and all that, yeah, there was at times he was putting some good challenges on Trossard and all that, but Trossard's not that easy to defend. Like, he's easy to defend against. He can't run past you. He can run. He's got great feet to knock it around you, but he's only going to turn back. So your aura defending didn't work today. And I would say 2 goals came from that side, not passing the man over. Whether he didn't track the man or he didn't tell Romero on the inside or anything. No, sorry. Romero on the inside. Just, I know he's more of a wing back, but bruv, the guy did nothing. Kudus had nothing from him all game. So you're all defending. Oh, wow, you made a couple of challenges, pocketed someone, apparently. But going forward, you offered nothing. And that was, for me, one of the biggest problems. He's got all the attributes to be a great player, in fact. But his attitude lets him down. And his arrogance lets him down, should I say. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way or anything like that. But he's done this to himself. It's not like, you know, seen with black players at the moment, oh, get a bad rep for being this, that, and the other. Now, this guy comes out like that, so I'm allowed to criticize it. Kudus was on an island by himself because he got nothing from Spence. He offers nothing going forward. But hey ho. Anyway, guys, that's been a pretty bleak sort of match preview. It is what it is. Yeah. Go watch the highlights. You can see what it was. They didn't turn up to play football. We did. We put them in a spliff. We smoked them. Good night, Vienna. That's all she wrote, guys. Anyway, if you liked the video, like it. If you can, guys, subscribe, help a small Arsenal creator out. That would be amazing. And I'll catch you on the next one. We will be live again on Wednesday for the Bayern Munich game. And we will be live for the Chelsea game next weekend. I love you. Peace.